Hello bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature, and welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras and rewrite our stories to talk about books both published and unpublished. We are your hosts. I'm Marissa. This is Megan.
Hello.
And Jenna did not do her homework today, so she is not joining us.
She is not joining us. She specifically said, you guys go on without me.
Yeah, she is reading this book that we will be talking about, but she has felt a lot of pressure about doing homework, and she's like, and especially because this book, as of this release, this episode's release is out, so she's like, just do the episode, I'll read it, we can talk about it later.
And she's like, I also just need a break.
Yeah, she also has a lot going on in her life. So no Jenna today. I'm sorry if Jenna's your favorite host. Hopefully we make up for it.
Yeah, we'll be cool.
Yeah,
we'll be cool.
We're cool. But let's start with what we're drinking. So Megan, what are you drinking?
I am drinking an Owl Crate tea, and it is Miracles for Breakfast, which is English breakfast plus cardamom. And technically this is like based off of Strange the Dreamer, but I figured it also kind of felt fitting today. Because as I was looking at my tea before heading over, I was just like, okay, let's find a tea that kind of fits the book. So yeah, I chose Miracles for Breakfast, and I'll go a little bit more into that later about why I chose this one. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not choose my tea based off of the book. I chose my tea because I got this tea a while back. Not a while back, but like last month, and I wanted to drink it. It's the Pirate Chai tea. Well, Pirate Chai. From Spice Traders Teas. It is a black tea, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, allspice, cloves, and pepper. And I actually got that at the Renaissance Fair.
Ooh. We were just talking about this.
Yeah. I went up to the booth, and they were like, they had a bunch of teas there. I wanted to buy a few of them, but I didn't bring that much money with me. But yeah, so I was talking to them, like, what's the Pirate Chai? And they're like, this is basically our base chai tea, that they just put a little bit extra in there. But they do other chais as well, and a bunch of other teas.
I'm going to have to look them up, because when I smelled yours, and I was like really on the fence of, do I want mine or do I want to try yours as well? And I thought, I'll be different.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to try that next time.
Yes.
And how is it? Is it pretty good?
It is good. It is good. I could definitely tell. I mean, also Jenna's not here to make our teas, so our teas are a little bit different than usual. I think, at least for me personally, because Jenna, I don't know how she makes teas. I think I made mine a little strong, or it's just a strong tea. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have Jenna make it next time and compare and contrast. Yeah. So, all right, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So today, our long-awaited and much anticipated discussion about The Isle and the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. So thank you, NetGalley. We got this as a ARC, and we read it early.
I think it's also Tor is the publisher. I'm going to look him up.
Yeah, please.
Jenna can't look up stuff for us.
Jenna, where's our researcher? But yeah, we absolutely adored Tasha Suri's Burning Kingdoms. We devoured it last year and only talked good things. Not only talked good things. We talked the negatives too. But
I mean, yeah, every book has its critiques.
Exactly. But I do think that was one of our highest rated books of last year.
Definitely. And I still love that we were able to do an episode per book in that series. Yep. Based on your choice for the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books.
Yeah. So we, obviously, when we heard Tasha Suri was making another book, writing another book, we're like, yes, we want it. Can we get it earlier than usual? And we did, which is awesome, because that means we get to talk about it earlier than usual.
And that's, okay, this book is the reason I signed us up for NetGalley.
Yeah.
100%, because I wanted us to build up our percentage so that way we could automatically get accepted into this book. And so I hadn't requested this book until I was just like, okay, I think it's time. We have a pretty good percentage. I think we were over 80% at that point, which is what they want. And then so I requested it, and they were just like, here. And it was like, normally when you request it, it takes like a while for them to approve it. And this one was like within 24 hours we were approved, and I was just like, okay, here we go.
There we go.
Mission accomplished.
So yeah, we've been looking forward to this book for some time now. I was going to say something.
Oh, it's Hachette. Hachette/Orbit is the publisher.
Okay. Orbit does Solus, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah, of course. Duh. So, yeah, we got this book. For those of you that are new to our podcast and don't know how our structure goes, basically what we're going to do, we're going to talk about what the book's about, give like a brief summary of it, give our spoiler-free rating, talk a little bit spoiler-free for the beginning, and then we'll give you a warning when we get into spoilers so you get the idea of, do I want to go to spoilers, or do I want to start this book on my own, and then come back and listen to the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
So, to start us off, The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri is a book set in a different universe of basically Britain.
Yeah.
Where the stories and legends that are told are retold again and again in real life, which helps the island stay whole.
Alive? Yeah.
So we have the incarnates, who are literal reincarnations of these characters from these different tales. And our two main characters, Simran and Veena, are the reincarnations of the Knight and the Witch, which is a very, apparently, a very important tale to the Isle.
And one of the oldest.
Yeah. And it is a tragic love story. Where they fall in love and are doomed at the end.
Right.
So it follows them discovering each other, falling in love, and then on top of that...
Did they fall in love, though? Because in the story, I thought it was they discover each other in the forest. There's a little something, and then the witch...
Well, yeah, the original story. I'm talking about the
actual
book.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead. Yes.
But yeah, so it follows their tale, basically. Simran and Veena, their tale as they are telling it, both in reliving the tale and just their own lives. And then on top of that, there is a mysterious assassin that is going around and killing these incarnates. And when an incarnate dies... a piece of the isle disappears and perishes.
Okay, yes. It literally, blips out of existence, and then every surrounding area zips itself together. So, if you had, think of, what was her name? Who was the witch with the... Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
And they lived in, this specific forest, and someone killed... It had to be all three, right? Or could it just be the one?
I think it's just one, just to stop the story from being told.
You're right.
So if any one of them dies before their story is told, it stops the story.
Because that's what happened to the fairy. Or not the fairy, the queen.
The queen. Yeah, the queen of the fairies. Basically Titania.
Yeah. Was that she lost her other half and was like, I'm going to make another.
Yeah. And she's trying to, save her story.
Yeah.
Anyways, slightly spoiled there.
We'll get there.
But yeah, so that's basically the book is Veena, Simran, reliving their tale, but also trying to live their lives separately from their tale, and this assassin that's trying to disrupt everything. And there's a lot of other stuff that goes on, which we'll go into much later.
Yeah, there's politics.
Yeah.
There's ink.
Yeah.
There's history.
Yeah.
And wyverns.
So, Megan, what rating did you give this book, spoiler-free?
Yes, spoiler-free. I think it was... I'm kind of, trapped between, a 2.5 and a 3.
That's almost exactly where I'm at. I think officially I gave it, a 3, but I think I'd give it, a 2.8 if I was going really nitty-gritty.
Yeah. I think definitely it was closer to, out of 5, a halfway mark. So, 2.5. But, also... I don't know if this is just my bias for Tasha Suri, and I just loved her Burning Kingdom series so much that I wanted to just boost it up.
Yeah.
Just so that way she can keep writing.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a little bit of a tough book for me to get through. So I think 2.5 to 3 is pretty good.
It's funny too because you say that it's a little bit of a bias, so it boosts it up. I feel like almost my little bit of bias boosted it down a little because I was like, when I compare it to your other book, it's so much worse. It's not bad, but it's so much worse when you compare it to something that you almost gave 5 stars to before.
Right.
So it skews it a little bit.
Right. I think for me, reading this book, it felt like someone's very first book. And they had these big ideas. They just didn't know how to execute it. And I think that's where I ended up giving it such a lower rating, is because reading this, I was just like, this doesn't feel like you, like Tasha Suri at all. But I think, it's tough.
I think the hard part too is that there are parts about this book that for some people it'll bring the rating up, but for us personally it brought it down.
Right. So
where it's just opinionated of like, that's where it brought it down versus like the actual story and writing of it.
Yeah. And that's one thing we've talked about plenty of times. We don't really care about fated mates.
Yeah.
And this whole book is based around fated mates, or like the fate that you can't escape kind of thing. Because no matter what, if you have a story, that tale is going to steer you in the direction so that way you complete the direction. So they didn't really have a choice. Yeah. It's just the basic idea. But yeah.
I will say that it is discussed in the book of like their choice being taken away from it and them trying to fight that choice and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that is addressed. It's not just a like, well, it's fate, so we're just going to go with the flow. It's like, it is a struggle for them in that sense of like, am I actually attracted to you, or am I just conditioned to be attracted to you?
Right. And I feel like based on the characters, Vina was the one who was just like, this is my life.
Yeah.
I gotta. And then Shimran, I say Shimran.
Oh, okay.
But I like Simran better. I think that has like a nicer flow to it. But mine is very much Korean coded.
Yeah.
So for me, Simran, she was just like, nah, I'm not going to deal with this.
I think that was very indicative of their characters and their roles too, though, because like Vina's the knight. Vina's like, duty, I am following my duty and I'm going through with it. Whereas Simran's like the witch who kind of goes against everything and is like, I'm the rebel that does magic. But
what was interesting was they talked about kind of the other reincarnations of themselves and how some of them, like sometimes, this was the first time I think that it was girl.
The first time they at least address, because we don't know how many different lives they've had, and
there was one time where it was boy or guy, and then but most of the times, and the original quote the original tale was a female witch and a male knight, and I feel like it also talked about there were times where the witch was just like embracing the thing, and the knight was fighting it. But I feel like for this tale, they fit that role really well.
Yeah. I do like that the book itself, The Isle in the Silver Sea, starts off with the tale.
Yes.
Like, so you read the tale of the knight and the witch, and then you were introduced to the characters now. Yeah. So I thought that was really nice to be like, hey, this is the tale that they are fighting.
Yeah.
And then went into it.
Did you expect to have them meet so soon? I thought it was going to be a little bit before, but it was like first chapter.
Oh, yeah. It was the first thing is they like saw each other. Just like, oh, shoot. And then runs away.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think I had any expectations in that regard. I honestly went into this with no expectations other than knowing Tasha Suri's writing.
Right.
So it's like I didn't know the full extent of what the story was going to be about. I just knew, Lady Knight and Witch that are, falling in love. And that's what I thought I was going to get, was just, a Lady Knight and a witch falling in love. Love story, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it turned into a lot of different things that I didn't expect. Right. Some in positive, some in negative.
Same.
And I will say the most positive thing I liked about this book was the message of, like, the impact of stories on society and people, and how, like, that power of a story manifested in a literal sense.
Yes.
Like, not just with these tales having to be retold in order to keep the Isle alive, which is basically, like, learn your history so that we can stay this empire or whatever. Right. But also, like, the magic in there is written magic, like you were talking about with ink.
Yeah.
Like, in order to, like, put a spell on somebody, they wrote the spell on them.
Right.
So.
But if you're an incarnate, you can't have the ink touch you, because technically you're, like, made of the ink. Like, your history, your soul is based around this ink. So if it touches you, it basically, like, dissolves you a little bit.
Does it dissolve you? I just thought it just didn't work.
Oh, does it not work?
I thought it didn't work because
I thought it hurt them.
It might have hurt, but I just know, like, my impression of it was like you know how they talk about in time travel where there's like fixed points in time travel? That's what they are, is they're a fixed point. So nothing that you can do can change what their fate and story is going to be.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
And so where other people are in flux, they can have stuff written on them to change their fate and their story because they're still writing their own story.
Right. And I think I had a thought. Oh, I thought, like, you describing this just now reminded me of just while we were having breakfast, you talking about the Ren Fair that you went to and how they're telling this story that you can, like, follow along. And we saw that a little bit at Dickens Fair.
Yeah.
Where at Dickens Fair, you can follow the story of Ebenezer Scrooge as he goes through the ghosts of Christmas past and future and present or whatever. So it almost feels like in this world, if you go to the aisle, you can, like, be like, oh, I'm going to go watch this story unfold. And it's like, but these are people's lives.
Yeah.
But also it feels very, like, I don't want to say staged, but, like, you can witness it as it happens, because kind of similar to what they do at Ren Fair. Yeah,
it was very much like, rather than these stories just being told, like, people can just walk by and watch them happen.
Yeah.
And then something we didn't really talk about was the fact that, like, you know, the queen and her court are trying to, like, save these stories and preserve them.
Yeah.
And part of that is, like, when she finds an incarnate, she's like, I need you to come here so I can make sure that your story is safe.
Yes.
And that we can still live it out so that my isle is safe.
Did the queen know that there was this assassin going around killing incarnates?
I think the hard part was that, because I think it was known, but it wasn't known that it was, like, one person. I think it was just, like, people were disappearing.
Yeah.
And then they were like, look, no, there's actually somebody killing him.
Yeah. And it's not really a spoiler, but the queen herself is an incarnate.
Yeah.
And she is, it's, like, it's interesting because this story itself felt very Victorian times to me, even though there's, like, knights and there's all of these things. And she has her, I guess even now the king of England has knights.
Yeah.
But the story, so despite it being very medieval feeling, like witches and knights, it still felt time-wise Victorian to me. And I think that was just because I imagined the queen as Queen Victoria, who, you know, reigned for a really long time.
Yeah.
And did so much for the Isle. So
I do think there was a little bit of ambiguity when it came to the timeline on this, because I think part of that too was the message of, like, they're almost frozen in this time of, like, we're retelling these stories so we can't actually move forward and evolve through time because we're still living in these stories. So I think, honestly, this could have been...
You're right.
This could have been modern day, but they were stuck retelling these stories over and over again, so they were stuck in the time of these stories to an extent. But the people around them that aren't part of the stories, like, I got the impression, I don't remember what the neighborhood was called that Simran was staying at, but like that where the elsewhere people would be.
Right.
Which I love that.
Everything was elsewhere.
Elsewhere, it wasn't foreign, it was elsewhere.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like that area, even though it felt more like an impoverished area, was trying to progress more outside of the kingdom, where the kingdom was trying to keep with old tradition.
Right. Because they were from elsewhere, so they knew.
Yeah.
But what was so cool about them being from elsewhere and coming to the Isle is that they're also slowly forgetting elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because Simran, it's very obvious that she comes from either India, like an Indian country, or I would say even Middle Eastern kind of thing.
Yeah.
That her coming to the elsewhere, and she has these traditions of, you know, this culture that she grew up with, and then she's slowly losing that.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. I think the thing I really loved about this book was the world of the book.
Yeah.
And the message that she was portraying with it.
Right.
And I think if the book was focused more on other people, it would have been good. Or if they wrote the love story a little bit differently, it would have been good. Right. There's other little, like, nitpicky stuff that I had a problem with. Like, I felt like some of the dialogue in it was very just, like, this is just said so that I can explain something to you.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it did not feel natural in some instances. And then the pacing was the other hard part for me.
Yeah, really tough for me.
I felt like the beginning was very rushed. Like, we were just going from scene to scene to scene to scene, like, really quickly. There's a point where they're at a ball in the castle, and they're there for, like, a chapter, and then it's done. And it's so quickly glossed over and felt almost unimportant. And then I feel like the middle, for where I thought the climactic point was like really well paced. I'm like, okay, now she's getting into it. And then she goes into part 2. And for me, part 2 either should have been a whole second book or just an epilogue and been done with.
Yeah, I agree. I would have preferred it to be second book, because also the trend right now with books is that you have this massive cliffhanger of something big happens.
Yeah.
So I feel like, sorry, I have to pre-order a book.
In the middle of our book podcast.
Yeah. It's the second book in a series, and it's Fairy Loot, so I have to get it. Am I logged in is the question. Yeah, I wanted it to end and for us to suffer for a year before we found out what happened.
Yeah.
But would you have been happy with a whole other second book if she had done that?
So here's why I wish it was an epilogue, because at that point I was just kind of like, I wanted to get done with the book.
Same.
So no, probably wouldn't have read the second book.
Yeah.
If she had done that. I think at that point I was kind of done with it.
Yeah.
And the only time I would have read a second book is if it was a different tale and she had done something differently.
And that's what I think I would have enjoyed, to see other tales, like, more in depth, and how they can then, like, live out their tale or fight their tale or whatever that they do. Mm-hmm. I would like more in this world. I also think that this could have been an interesting story if it was a bunch of short stories together.
Yeah, like
an overarching
type thing.
But with an overarching story that, like, then builds up into this climactic ending.
Yeah.
So,
where if it was like a bunch of different tales and you were getting the assassin coming in trying to end those tales, and that was like...
And then we get to Shimron and Vina, the witch in the night, and then their tale is the one that, like, breaks the chains or whatever kind of thing. I also had, like, this complete opposite where the second half I feel like would have benefited from being the beginning. And then we, like, learn what happened throughout.
I can see that, but I also feel like there's a lot of spoilers in the second half that just wouldn't have hit as much if I already knew it.
So I'm thinking of, and this will be a spoiler for the movie, what was that movie with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence? Was it Passenger?
Some I didn't watch it. I know what movie you're talking about, but I didn't watch it.
Well, now I can't spoil that for you unless you want to be spoiled.
I don't care.
Okay. So in that movie, Chris Pratt, they're on a spaceship that is going, because Earth or whatever is dying, so they're going to another planet, and there's, like, a malfunction in his, like, stasis pod, and he wakes up and he's, like, alone for 2 years.
Yeah.
And obviously being alone on a spaceship with nobody else is, you know, very hard on the human mind. But so then he like finds Jennifer Lawrence's character, he wakes her up, and then he, like, doesn't tell her. He says, oh no, it was an accident, same thing happened to me. And then she realizes that, you know, all of these bad things start happening, but she realizes that he's the one who woke her up, and she's like, you basically doomed me to death, and like gets angry. So I saw online someone said the way the story should have been told was from her point of view. She wakes up randomly, there's this dude there who, you know, has gone crazy because he's been awake for 2 years alone, and then she slowly, like, things are happening, bad things are happening, and then she, like, slowly realized it was him that woke her up. And that would be, like, the ending kind of thing.
So I see how that relates to part 2.
Yeah.
But I think we should start going into spoilers if we're going to go more into that.
Yeah.
So before we go into the spoilers of what our honest opinion of this book is there anything spoiler-free you would like to say to the listeners that are thinking about buying this book and reading it?
I will say the nice thing about this book is Tasha Suri is so good at, like, she does these beautiful descriptions, and this is something that I felt she did a lot in the Burning Kingdom series as well, but I feel like she kind of amped it up a little bit. And so if you're looking for a book that has, like, beautiful quotes and, like, just, like, lovely descriptions that you like. If you're a fan of, I'd say V.E. Schwab or Alex E. Harrow, that kind of style, I feel like this book is like could be for you. Maybe not story-wise, but prose-wise, I think it's still a very beautiful book.
Yeah.
Also, the cover's gorgeous, so you know.
I think if you're looking for something with a really good message too, where I think the message of like the power of stories and stuff like that, and reading into that, that was my favorite part of the book, was that whole message that she put across, and using fantasy to manifest that. I think there could be essays written on this world that she has and why she wrote it the way she did to convey a bigger message.
That would be an interesting to have this like either discussed or talked about in like a college course.
Yeah.
And then you write an essay on like how, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think this book has a lot of potential for, essays on stories and stuff like that. Now, as far as like face value romance and stuff like that, it was not for me.
Yeah.
But once again, we talked about it is fated mates. So if you are somebody that likes fated mates, give it a try.
Right. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be people out there who enjoy the fated mates and like prophecy almost kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like.
And obviously it's queer.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Yep.
It is queer. It is sapphic, but there's other like queer representation in it that you can find. She doesn't shy away from representation in this book.
Right.
And there's also like we talked about a little bit on the message of like foreigners in another country and stuff like that. You can get a little bit of that out of there too.
Right.
So.
I think the foreigner aspect is also another thing that could be discussed very easily. So when we get into spoilers, because I feel like it is also part spoilers.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are thinking about reading this book, give it a shot. I'm always going to support Tasha Suri, even though I only gave it a 2.8 star. But I'd say give it a shot. Form your own opinions and let us know what your opinions were, because we're definitely curious about that.
Yeah.
That being said, at this point, we're going to go talk about spoilers. So either if you're like, hey, I don't care about spoilers, tell me the spoilers, or if you've already read the book and you want to hear our opinions unedited as far as spoilers go.
Correct.
Come keep listening.
Yeah. Join us on this journey.
Yeah. All right. Starting now. Spoilers.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we should move the passengers thing to the spoiler section. But the way that it was written with part 2, because they basically died.
Yes.
And were reincarnated, I feel like it would have been such an interesting story to tell from Vina as the daughter of Galith and
Hari.
Yes. Galith and Hari as their like adopted daughter. And as she's like learning this thing and then having this, I wanted it to be written where she's like has this emptiness where she's just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something. And they're like, oh, by the way, you're actually a what's it called? Incarnate. But what's interesting was Hari is her cousin, right?
No, well, so Hari was
just the best friend,
Simran's best friend. And so when they have a kid this is my best friend's lover. This is my daughter now.
And then Simran's parents basically were the grandparents.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be like, I am connected to this person by multiple ways.
Yes.
And I didn't want it. This is like the other thing I didn't care about the book was when you like have the vision of the previous incarnate, that's how you know that you are also an incarnate. Mm-hmm. And then you're like suddenly flooded with the memories of the past incarnates. I wanted it to be a slow trickle of her like slowly learning.
Yeah.
And not just being like, well, bam. But I do understand why they did that, because they had to be like, we can't.
Because it's part 2 in a book.
Yeah. And we can't just like have you slowly learn it. So you just have to info dump yourself.
Yeah.
But.
Well, then you could get the perspective of Simran, who was taken into the archives and didn't have a memory either.
Exactly.
And doesn't understand why she's kind of locked up and has to do this, but she's like, whatever, this is all I know, so
yes,
that's what I'm doing.
But what I did like about that is we didn't get totally new characters for this new reincarnation.
Yes and no. Why weren't they new characters?
Because she at least broke one of the chains. So she broke one of the
sense.
So because she broke one of the chains, the ink was trapped in her. So it actually would have been interesting if Vina was a different character and not if Simran had stayed the same, but Vina was different. But also, I feel like the author was just like, no, it has to be Vina.
But didn't she break the chains before? Wasn't she like slowly breaking the chains through her past lives?
Oh, but this was the last chain, wasn't it?
No, they still had to go back.
Oh, you're right. It is okay. I will say we've been waiting for Jenna to read this book. It's been a hot minute. Like I'm trying to let me see when I sent this to you. Also, my other like little spoiler thing is, this book took me like 6 weeks to read.
Yeah,
it was very slow for me, and that's like the slowest book I've ever read in like the last 10 years.
Yeah,
probably not actually, but. Maybe not even 6 weeks, but it took me a very long time because it was the kind of book that it's the way where you look at a book and you're like, I want to read it.
Yes.
But I will not pick it up.
Yep.
And I know when I'm reading it, I'll be fine.
Yeah. But
also picking it up is the hard part.
Yeah.
And I think there was just the lingering of, oh, I'm so bored, or like, I'm not really... That's why I chose this tea.
Yes.
Miracles for Breakfast, because I needed a miracle to finish this book. And I know that's so negative to say, but I was very close to DNFing it many, many times.
Yes.
So, but I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You were looking back to see how long it's been since we've read the book.
Yes, because I have our chat up because I was listening to the voice notes. When we did finish this, we sent each other voice notes. And I like your voice note. You were basically just like, we need to meet up and talk about this.
Yeah, because there's just a lot to say, obviously. We are now 35 or 33 minutes into this recording, and I still have more to say.
So, we finished this August. Well, I finished it. You finished it before me.
Yeah.
But I finished this August 13th.
Yeah.
And so it's been over 2 months since we finished this.
Yeah.
So it's not fresh in our brain.
So thankfully we did the voice notes so we can remember stuff.
So if we do this again.
Yes.
For future episodes.
Voice notes.
We will definitely be utilizing voice notes. So yeah, you finished it before me even. I think probably like 2 weeks before me.
Something like that.
Yeah. So you probably finished it either early August or late July.
Yeah.
Which is also mind-boggling to think that we've been doing arcs that long.
I know, right?
It only feels like, oh, it's been like a month.
Yeah.
But no. Anyway.
No,
so, yeah.
I think... So I brought this up in our voice notes. I think something that would have made this book a lot better is if they did not fall in love with each other.
Yes.
And they had somebody else.
That would have been so intriguing.
Because the whole thing about this was like... And we talk about it where it's like they're fated mates. So they're all like, am I attracted to you because I'm attracted to you? Or am I attracted to you because it's what I'm supposed to be? Which made every interaction with them feel tainted.
Yes.
Where I'm
very
like,
much.
Even, like, they would talk about it where it's like they'd start being, like, taken over by the tale and stuff. And they'd have to relive this part of their tale. And they felt like basically losing control of themselves, which felt icky. And then they had, like, the sex scene, which also felt really icky because of all that.
So, the sex scene was, like, the basic timeline of their tale is they meet in the woods, they have this moment, and then...
she shoots her, right?
She shoots her, yeah. And then the knight goes back to the queen, and the queen is like, oh, yeah, go after the witch, because by then the witch is in the Copper Mountains. Was it the Copper Mountains or something? And then she's enthralling the village that's below.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what she does. She just enthralled them.
Yeah.
Did they do
magic.
Bad things?
Just magic, because she's an evil witch. And
she's an evil witch, right. And so then the knight, because the queen has told her to go forth and do knightly things and stop the witch, she goes up there, then the witch enthralls the knight, and then...
Once again, icky.
Icky. So by the time we got to the sex scene, when Vina's supposed to be enthralled, but she's like, no, actually, I'm not. Because I actually do love you. I was still like, really though?
But do you, or are you still being controlled by the tale? Because everything was tainted at that point.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't trust anything.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part about it, is I don't feel like it's consent necessarily.
Right. And that's talked about during the Queen Titania kind of.
Yes.
I say Titania, but
Oh.
yeah,
Titania's
Titania's like fancier. But I've never actually seen a live performance of Midsummer Night's Dream, so I've only ever read it.
Yeah.
But that's what I liked about that part of the story, was when she came in and was just like, oh, I need a knight. My knight is dead. So I need a knight. So you're mine.
Yeah.
And I kind of really like that. I mean, it's gross, obviously, because consent's like totally taken away.
Yeah.
But she like steals Vina for a hot second. And the only time I really, really liked the tail coming in was when she was able to use the tail to fight and be like, no, this is my tail and I am choosing this tail to be my tail, to stay with Shimran. And I liked that part. And I thought that was so cool. But like you said, the pacing was so off that I thought the rest of the book was going to be Shimran trying to get her back, or to like find a way to fight it, because Titania is going to be like the real big bad and not the assassin, which we'll get to. But it was so interesting that it was like, you've been enthralled by the Queen of the Fairies. And then half a chapter later, she's just like, I'm better.
Yeah.
And I was
it
like,
felt very D&D in that sense of
Yeah.
like, here's a quick side mission for you guys to do.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a full like overarching story part. It was just like, let me throw this in here as like a conflict randomly.
I think I actually messaged you, or we talked during D&D or something. I think I actually said I liked the episodic part of it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the pacing was just so off with it.
Yeah.
I did message you a bunch. I said I'm at the part where we met the beast in the hidden library. I think what she's going for is episodes very monster of the week. So that's what I said, where it feels very monster of the week, where, okay, here's the Queen of the Fairies. Oh, here's the witches. Mm-hmm. I guess the witches are connected to the Queen of the Fairies. Here's the library, and then here's this. And it just felt very like bam, 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 bam. And then, yeah, it just didn't.
It didn't flow very well.
Yeah.
It did feel like I was watching like a TV show.
Yeah.
Of like watching episodes of it, and even then it was all like, wait, okay, we're just moving on from this one. All right, next one. Like,
you said, yeah, I can see that, but she still flies through them. Like, if there was a TV episode, it'd be like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's how long it took to read it.
Exactly.
But that's what I was saying. If she had done it in the episodic way of different tales as they die by the assassin's hand, mm-hmm. I also, going into the assassin, how did you feel about the assassin? Did you like him?
So this is where we're going to differ a little bit, I think.
Okay.
I liked him well enough, and I liked the idea of him for sure. I did not like his love story.
Yeah.
Because once again, that gave me very Beauty and the Beast vibes of like, because the assassin kidnaps Hari, and then they go meet on the Copper Mountains, and Hari's like, oh no, I'm in love with him. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Because I didn't get to see anything about how you guys fell in love. It's just, hey, I was kidnapped, and now I love him.
Yeah, it was. I understand that, because when he's kidnapped, and Shimran, like, her whole motivation in the beginning is forget the tale. I need to get my best friend.
Yes.
Which
is why I liked Simran, because she was very much like, I don't care about this whole tale thing. It'll play out later. Whatever.
Yeah.
I have more important stuff to focus on.
Right. But then also she was just like, well, we're going to go through like 15 episodes.
Yeah.
Of these Monster of the Week style things. But I didn't quite understand Gallus' like motivation, and maybe I've just forgotten it. But him killing these tales, was it linked? I thought he basically just gave up, right?
Well, he was. So
he
the
was
whole
an
thing.
Adopted son / lover.
Were they lovers? I don't think they were lovers.
No? Okay, it was just son.
I think it was more like an adopted son.
Okay.
Of Simran's past life.
Yeah.
And they discover the chained king down there, right? The immortal king. And basically they've decided, like, beyond Simran's retelling of the story, that they're going to set this guy free, but they don't know how to do it, so they're just very slowly doing it. and he has to, in each of her incarnations,
convince
her that she has to go down and help break these chains. Yeah. But it gets harder and harder on him because he's immortal, and he's watching this just go over and over, watching her die over and over again, and it's harder and harder to convince her. And so, yeah, I think it's just after you've lived for so many years trying to do something that seems hopeless and fleeting, it's like, what is even the point anymore?
Right, because there was even times where the witch would refuse to even, listen to him.
And I think part of it, too, is, like, he's watching this terrible tale of his friend dying over and over and over again. Basically his mother dying over and over and over again.
Okay, yeah.
So he's trying to give people... And his whole thing is he gives them the option. He never actually kills anybody necessarily against their will. He goes up and he tells them, like, hey, I can end your suffering. I can end your tale if that's what you want.
Forever.
Yeah. And they choose it.
Right.
And so he kills them. But it all is seen is that he's killing off these tales that is destroying the Isle.
Right.
So he's the bad guy in the majority of the book.
But he's actually doing good because these people are like, they're like trapped and they're basically just like, I don't want to live this anymore.
Yeah, he's doing what he thinks is the merciful thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I liked his character.
Yeah.
I liked the immortal, him losing hope, him trying to find a way to be hopeful and help people. But when it came to, like, Hari and...
Yeah,
like,
the romance.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird.
I liked them...
Oh, also...
in the second half.
Hari is trans. That was a cool thing.
Oh!
Did you not catch that?
I might have, but I glossed over it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, at the very beginning they talk about it, and how Hari is trans.
Okay, I think, you're right.
Yeah. So, positive thing for people that want to read the book. There is a trans character in it, and they have a good story, for the most part.
Yeah. I enjoyed the romance, only because I also just, at that point, I was just like, oh, Galeth, you deserve love. You deserve love, even though it is very much I think he was even... I was going to say like a 500-year-old fae man, because that's what tends to be the trend.
Yes.
But I think it's like over 1,000 years, honestly.
Oh, yeah. That was the other thing is like, I have a hard time with like immortals falling in love with somebody because I'm like, really? That's very weird, the age gap in that.
It is really weird.
Yeah.
And of course, my thought for like all of those people, I'm like, you obviously did not wait to sleep around.
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of STDs do you have? That's like my thought. You probably have an STD that's been eradicated.
Yep. But for some reason, it just keeps popping up randomly.
When you fall in love with a mortal. I should put that in my book.
There you go.
If I ever write a book about immortals. And then obviously name it My Immortal. Oh, don't do it.
No.
Anyway. What I don't know. I feel like we would have liked it more if we had gone for my structure of part 2.
Yeah.
When they're already dead and they're raising this baby. And then you find out like, oh, my second dad's past is really, it's real bad. It's real bloody. But he was like doing it for a good. I feel like if we had known him, but then we would also have lost the like.
I think if they'd split up part 2 to be a beginning and end.
Yeah.
So if they started off with the Vina not knowing anything, having this weird feeling, and then once she's learning what's happening, it's like it goes to the story that we know, and then cuts back to where the climax and releasing the king and all of that stuff.
And then if you don't know the assassin is Galeth until like the very end when Vina like comes back to herself and she's like, Dad, you were a straight up assassin?
Yeah. You
killed these tales. And he's like, listen, I had a reason. Okay, now let's go find your wife.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think if they had done it that way, sandwiched.
Yes.
Where we had that and that, I feel like I would have really enjoyed that a lot more. Especially because what I wanted, like I said, was I wanted them to be separate and then slowly find their way to each other. Mm-hmm. And if they had also gone your way, where they were totally in love with two different people, and then this tale came in and they're just like, sorry, buddy.
Yeah. It would have been like a love triangle type deal.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would have given a bit better motivation for breaking it, and then
Yes.
it would have been more satisfying at the end of being like, okay, I can finally be with the person I want to be with.
Yeah.
Not, okay, we can finally figure out if we love each other, really, or if it was just a tale. So let's spend years away from each other.
But because they've already, like, done the whole thing, it's just like, okay, it's kind of cemented into you.
Yeah.
And, like again, now that the tale has officially been broken, is the love that's in yours, like, residual? Or is that supposed to be gone and everyth's wiped away?
Yeah, I think that's what the point was supposed to be when Simran's like, let's be separated for a bit so that we could give it time to, like, pass.
We all know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel like anything as far as... It felt like kind of a cop-out to be like, well, they chose it. They still chose it. It's fine. And so I'm like, I guess. Whatever.
But if they had been fighting it and being like, no, I'm totally in love with this other person.
Exactly.
Like, I can't be with you. And the other person's like, I know.
Yeah.
And I feel like having them form a bond that way of being like, we're trapped together.
Yeah.
And, like, we can't be in love, but also we can't fight this. But also, I feel so bad and guilty because I have somebody else I love. I think that would have been so compelling.
Yeah, and it would have been more... It would have felt more like a choice rather than forced. And I feel like, once again, it tainted every interaction that they had for me, where anything that felt like romantic was like, this doesn't feel romantic.
Yeah.
It just feels like what has to happen.
Yeah.
So.
What about the Beast?
The Beast was cool. The Beast was better in part 2.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of an all-knowing being type thing that they went to in the library. I did like... So, going again with, like, the story aspect and, like, the powers that stories have, having that, like, hidden library of, like, stories that are not supposed to be told anymore and stuff like that down in that library. And the message of, like, you know, the government controls the narrative.
Yes.
And so the queen and her archivists control the narrative, but then there's, like, citizens out there that have their own secret library that's like, here's the truth that's going on. Right. I really liked that.
And I like how anything could have been a story. So, like, even an article that's just, like, talking about a thing, because at the beginning of every chapter, there's an epigraph that talks about... like something, a quote or something from here, and then beneath that it says destroy and question whoever, you know, created that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, okay, it's fine, or review in 6 months kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really, really liked that. And I always think of that as like, that's what was in the library, the hidden library. Because the even the ones that they, like, even the notes that they wrote ended up in the hidden library because they stole them or, you know, found them or whatever.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I was just reading it as, like, an archivist that was writing this tale.
Right.
And they'd, you know, would find it and they'd put their little notes on it. Yeah.
But I feel like, that was, like, the hidden library is stealing all of these things to preserve them.
Yeah.
So
then could you say the hidden library actually wrote this book?
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, it feels very hidden library to me. And they're probably...
That's why it was their first book that they wrote.
There you go. It's very first book syndrome from the library. They're like, we're going to try our own story to tell. I liked the Beast, like you said, in the second half, the part 2, because, you know, here in the beginning, it's like this all-knowing beast and creature. And when the library was attacked by I keep wanting to call them the, like, Inquisition or something. The library was attacked by knights or whatever, the queen, and the archivist, something, and them, like, the Beast being, like, ripped apart and torn apart by these destroyed tales, and now here he is. What was he, a rat or was he a cat?
It was like a snake, right?
A snake?
Or something?
Okay. Oh, you're right, a snake. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
So, him then being like, knowing that Shimran is, like, there and, like, connected to them because they had a moment in her past life, I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah. I did really like that, and I liked that he was kind of like her familiar.
Yeah,
throughout
she's a witch.
Yeah. So I love that. What was the cat's name, by the way?
Oh, it started with an M. It was like malicious or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Now. But I love the cat too.
The cat was amazing. We don't even know what the cat was still.
No, because it lived for like
Ever.
both their lifetimes.
Yeah. But that was like the part where, was it Tahari or something? It was like, please just take care of my cat. That was like her last line to him, was just take care of the cat.
Yeah.
And I, like, that's the part that got me, because I'm very much an animal lover. I don't care about people. People can die.
Yeah, whatever.
But animals, oh my gosh. But then the cat ended up being this like eldritch being or
something like that. The other thing I wanted to go over was like, I really liked how in their magic, like whatever spell that they put on somebody, that person was cursed to die that way.
Oh yeah.
So like I liked the idea of that balance of like, if you're like, hey, I want to be able to fly, and it's like, okay, I can make you fly, but you're going to die from falling or something like that. It was like, whatever I give you is going to be your doom, basically.
Right.
And they talk about that with Galeth, where his spell was he was immortal.
Yeah.
So the only thing that could kill him was an immortal.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing at the end, where everybody thought he died.
So that was so cool, because I kept being like, Hari's the one who's going to die.
Yeah.
Because Galeth can't die because he's immortal. But then, was it Shimron or someone who yelled at him and was just like, the only thing that can kill you is immortality, which means an immortal can kill you, which is the immortal king.
Yep.
And then Galeth is just like, oh, you're right. Okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool. That was where it showed the true bravery of it, where it's like, when you're immortal, you're like, whatever, I can do whatever I want. It's not really bravery because, you're not going to die. But the fact that he knew he could die in that situation is what made that more impactful.
Yeah. I also liked, speaking of the Forever King or the Immortal King or whatever. So Forever King is Empire of the Vampire. The Immortal King or Immortal Prince, was it?
Yeah.
I really liked how it was supposed to cycle. Mm-hmm. Because they were saying that the Immortal Prince is cruel but beautiful, but he's also caring, and he will do cruel things to make sure that people are safe.
Yeah.
And that's like his whole thing. And then the queen was basically just like power. She wanted the power, she wanted the control, so she locked up the Immortal Prince. And so then them breaking him was like, we need to have this cycle to happen, because that's also part of the story. And I'm surprised that him being locked up, I guess because he didn't technically die. Yeah. Because he was just asleep the whole time. So him being locked up, I think, would just like stop certain stories from happening.
It probably did, honestly. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't told, but... And I think that came with what I was talking about with like the government controlling the narrative. Was they controlled which stories were told and which weren't.
Exactly.
And so if they stopped a story from being told, that was like a necessary sacrifice to them.
Right.
And I think that's what it was. And they did it. They talk about redacting stories and taking those out. So I think that was a big thing of... And it also was another thing of showing why they were stuck in that same kind of time frame.
Yes.
Was because the queen was the only one ruling right there when it was supposed to be a cycle. Now, that being said, the Immortal Prince comes out, and then, like, it almost feels like a whole different world when he's out there.
Exactly. So, from part 1 to part 2, it feels like, I feel like we went from Renaissance medieval times in part 1 to then part 2 is, like, Howl's Moving Castle, where it's, like, almost steampunk, like, the progression of like, I think there's cars.
Oh, I don't remember if there were cars. But
I just... there was something, yeah.
I just felt like it definitely felt like a different setting when they talked about it. I didn't necessarily think the time period changed or anything like that. I just felt like it felt like a whole different country with them. So that was my big thing with it.
Yeah. Can we talk about foreigners?
Yeah.
So that is like such a big part. And so especially for this tale, and I think part of the reason... Oh, wait. So sorry. Hang on. Go back. There's two kinds of deaths in the beginning of this book. The first one was Galeth killing them, like certain people, and I feel like the other one was archivist killing foreigners. Yeah. So like the girl with the bird legs was not a story, and they were like, we can't have this story because it's a foreign story, a foreign tale that we don't want to come into our story or our country. Yeah. Basically.
they're preserving their tales, and if they bring other tales in, then it's...
They don't want that.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting that, you think the assassin is killing everybody who's dying that has a tail attached to them, but it's not.
No.
So I thought that was really cool that how she kind of did that. And like, obviously it's very much an allegory for racism.
Yes.
And,
well, and then the other really cool thing is nobody thought Simran could have been the witch because she was foreign. She was from elsewhere.
She was from elsewhere.
And they talk about when she's on the ship coming to the Isle is when she first saw her past life. And it's so interesting because they're so embedded of like, no, you can only tell the tale from the land that you're from.
Yes.
But it's not true because she was the witch and she's from elsewhere.
Right.
So it kind of gave that, like, you can be part of this society even if you're not from this society.
Right. And you can like be the one to like break tradition kind of thing, because sometimes tradition isn't that good.
Yeah. And even Vina was a half foreign. Her mom was. Yeah.
Was she her dad married to the mom? Because there was like a whole thing about that, right?
No, she's a bastard, I think.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Because I think, doesn't she have a sibling that's...
I don't remember
either.
Yeah.
But I do remember the thing was they found out she was an incarnate, and that's why she was accepted. And it's like, even though your mom wasn't, you still have your dad's blood, so it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Yeah. And but, you look enough like you're white,
and
basically.
Incarnates are treated much differently there, where it's like not quite like they're royalty or anything.
They're revered, but not...
Yes, but they're also, it takes the autonomy away from them. Yeah. So like we said, the queen is trying to collect them to keep their stories safe and everything. Yeah. So it's like, oh, look at this. It's almost like they're like an art piece of like, look at this beautiful art piece that I have right here. But like, you're not a higher class citizen. You're just somebody need to... Yeah.
Yeah, that is such an interesting way of writing it, especially from the queen, because her, like... I don't know. Shimron obviously is like, I gotta get out of here. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I gotta go get my friend.
Yeah.
And then
she had more important things to do.
Vina's basically just like, oh, you're leaving? Okay, I'll leave too, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it was cool because, like I said, Vina's the knight, so she's very much like ordered duty. I'm going to follow what I'm supposed to do. And I think she was also raised as an incarnate, so she knew, like, eventually my tale's gonna have to be told, so I'm just going to embrace it when it happens. Yeah. And so when Simran's like running away, she's like, wait, we need to tell our tale. I'll come follow you. Yeah. Because this has to happen, so I have to be with you. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Vina definitely fell first. What else was there? Oh, going back to like the foreigner thing. I liked that there was a lot more foreign tales in the second half, because once the Forever Prince or whatever, the Eternal Prince... Was it Eternal Prince? Was that it?
Maybe.
I
don't remember.
Once he was freed, then basically the archivists were basically just like, whoa, shoot, we can't really... We're trapped. So then like all of these other foreigns and like these foreign tales started taking root.
Yeah.
And I also liked the very end of the book. There are still tales. It's not like everything has been broken. Wait, was it broken? No.
I don't think everything still tales. Was broken. Yeah.
It was just... I think it... Was it just you could choose then after that? What was the ending?
Well, the librarians went to the archivist area, and I think part of it was you had more say in it. And like, the impression that I got, and I could be wrong here, and once again, it's been a few months since I read it. The impression that I got was in the archivist area, they have the actual physical book of the story.
Yes.
And you can write in the book to change the story.
Okay, right. And it was chained.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this was it. Shimron was the only one who the ink didn't burn. Mm-hmm. Because she had trained herself through her past lives, but everyone else, the ink would cause pain if you're an incarnate.
Yeah.
So Shimron was the only one who could then grab the chains and, like, shatter them.
Yes.
And then people said, okay, now we have access to our tale. We can either end it, or we can write a new tale, or all of the above. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the impression I got, was they could write
You're right, okay.
a new tale in the book, because I think it came from the ink writing the story.
Yes.
And that's where the magic was the book itself was the story just constantly living on.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Which then makes me wonder what goes on with the tales elsewhere.
Right. So is it only the Isle that these tales are a part of, or like if could like the as what does Haley always say, legally distinct India? Do they have their own tales and there is magic there that then their tales are told?
Yeah.
Or is it's not like a cyclical thing, but you have a tale, it's done, and then people who like can just tell the story? I don't know.
Like real
Like
India?
real life, yeah.
I think so. Personally, what I think is it is everywhere. It's the same thing, but
Okay.
just slightly different.
Yeah.
Because I think that's also a message to go across of like Britain thought they were special. They were the only ones, so they were like, yeah, only here we have our tales that we relive and all of that stuff. But it's like, I think if they traveled to the Americas and like all the Native American tales probably relived.
Right.
And then that's probably a big thing too, is if they traveled outside and they were overtaking other areas and stuff like that, and they were destroying those tales, like what was going on there.
Ooh, interesting.
This whole world could be so much bigger, and that's what
really could, yeah.
That's what I was most interested in when I was reading this book.
Yeah.
Was the world and like the potential of it,
Yeah.
not necessarily the story that was told.
I'm surprised she didn't go that route of legally distinct, the Isle, going to other countries and stealing their tales to bring back, because that's very much a thing that Britain did.
Oh yeah.
So that, I feel like, could have been a more interesting way.
You mean how like most of everything is based off of Middle Eastern tales?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Bible's set in the Middle East. So.
That's what I was thinking of. I was like, how everything they set their religion and everything off of is based off of a Middle Eastern tale.
It's true. Anyway.
But don't worry, Jesus is white.
Yes. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
That's like one of my favorite memes. Is she has a figure of Obi-Wan Kenobi and the mom's praying to it because she thought it was Jesus. Or it's a picture of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, and she's like, it's Jesus. And I'm just like, yep, there he is.
Yep.
There he is. Anyway. Yeah. I don't know. This is an interesting book because even though I had like really struggled through it, it is similar to last year. What was Jenna's book, The Unmaking of June Farrow, where it is sticking with me.
Yeah.
But because I read this one and I also read The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, kind of close to each other, I also feel like, and they're both nightly books and about like, I don't want to say reincarnation, but like how time is important to telling a different story.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've like melded together because I think The Everlasting's probably going to be my favorite book of the year. Mm-hmm. But it's like sticking with me in a way. And I do actually want to buy the book only because I do think the cover is absolutely gorgeous. And I do want to support Tasha Suri.
Yes.
Especially having read this book. I always feel bad reading ARCs because I'm like, I am not supporting you. I guess I am supporting you because we are spreading the word and we're talking about the books.
Yes.
But also monetarily, I feel like is another
I got
way
a free
to.
book.
Yeah. That's what I have been doing. So I did get an ARC for The Executioners 3 and I bought the book. And then obviously Samantha Shannon, Among the Burning Flowers, I bought that book.
Yeah.
But I do want to buy this book because I do want to support her. But I want to wait for like a special edition with like pretty edges that I can put as a trophy on my shelf.
Then you're like, it's really pretty.
It's
the book
really,
itself is okay, but it's really pretty.
It's the Regina George of books.
Yes.
She's really pretty, has some good qualities, but also, anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we are about an hour in.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to talk about with this book before we wrap up?
Did we want to talk about Samantha Shannon's quote?
Yeah. So we were trying to look up quotes because we did not plan ahead and we did not look for quotes early. We do have a quote for the end of the chapter, but I did look up Goodreads. I saw Samantha Shannon, her review of the book, and it literally says my quote. This is just the first part of it, but says, both a romantic ode to stories and a warning of their dangers, The Isle in the Silver Sea. I think I said the Isle and the Silver Sea at the beginning.
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry. Both a romantic ode to stories and a warning of their dangers, The Isle and the Silver Sea could not be more timely or important in an age of propaganda, misinformation, and rising nationalism.
So we did kind of go into a little bit,
Yeah.
but with the way that it is controlled, like the archivists control the story, and how the queen is just like, no, I want my story, like, I will choose what stories I want to be told on my isle.
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
And it puts out that propaganda of,
Yes.
like, what we want you to hear and what is actually going on are two very different things. And then the nationalism of it, of just being like, it's one thing to be proud of your country and the stories that build it, but it's another to completely isolate yourself from everything else. And to try to preserve something and not move forward.
Yeah. And we are the only ones who can tell these stories. We are the only ones who can, you know, conquer whatever. I don't know where I'm going with that, but
yeah. I think that was just so poignant, and that brought up the best parts about the book. So I agree.
Also, I loved that during the Jasmine Throne, how you like flipped the book over and you're like, oh, Samantha Shannon, they're friends. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Amina Al-Sarafi.
Yep.
Shannon Chakraborty. They're also friends. Like, not friends, but they like
read each other's
books
and do their quotes for each other.
Yeah, give little blurbs to each other. So yeah, I thought that was really fun. Little connections between some of our favorite authors.
Yeah.
Also, the three of them write very strong characters for very long stories.
Yes.
So yeah.
Very true.
All right, well, there's that quote. Do we want the other quote? The other quote.
Well, let's talk about what we're reading and all that before we end everything. So,
you're right.
Megan, what are you reading right now?
I am reading the Empire of the Vampire Book 3, which is Empire of the Dawn, which is an arc that we got. The book comes out November 4th. Luckily, this is only like a sampler, so I think it's only like the first 150 pages of an 800-page book.
Dang.
But I'm actually happy that it is, because I've been reading the first two books, like, nonstop. And I'm kind of at that point where I'm just like, I'm tired.
You're burning out.
I am very tired because they are 800-page books.
Yes.
So once I'm done with like the sampler, then I have a bit of a break, and then the book comes out, and then I can get. And I already pre-ordered it on Audible, because I have the first two on Audible. So I've been alternating between looking at the art, because it's a illustrated book, looking at the art in the physical copy, reading the ebook because the book's too heavy and big, and the audiobook. So I've been alternating between those. And I feel like I've gotten like a pretty good system with it. Yeah, and then I'm like 3 minutes from finishing Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. And then I'm going to hop into Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres.
That was one of the ones I suggested for the Fellowship of the Traveling Books.
Yeah, and that one I know is set in Antarctica, so that's good for my planner.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Maybe I'll give that one a try soon.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about it.
We sure can.
Yeah. I am reading Daughter of Egypt by Marie Benedict. I always want to say Bennett because it cuts off her name. It does a ... but
yeah.
I know. So Marie Benedict, Daughter of Egypt. I think I talked about it last episode, did I?
I don't think you did, actually.
I didn't? It's one of our arcs, so it's not out yet. And I am making the mistake of reading it now, even though we probably won't talk about it till next year. But it's basically a dual storyline of a woman in like the 1920s who wants to be an archaeologist. So she's going to Egypt to like uncover stuff, and she's looking for Hatshepsut's tomb and like her actual burial, not her temple. And then the second storyline is Hatshepsut, who, and her journey from being like princess to queen to pharaoh.
Ooh, yeah. Was she either the first female pharaoh or the last female pharaoh? Do you know?
I don't remember. She's not the first according to the book.
Okay.
I was telling Megan, the hard part about this is it is a fictional book, and they set it up. They're like, this is a fictional book. But a lot of the book, I feel like, has tried to teach me a lot about, like, Egypt and stuff. And I'm like, but how much of this is real and how much of it's fiction?
Right.
And so it's like, I feel like I'm very knowledgeable, but I don't know how much of this is actual knowledge.
Yeah, don't quote it.
Exactly.
But maybe you can quote it. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think the author at least plays it off like she knows a lot.
Yeah.
So whether or not she actually does, I think she does. I'm sure she did a lot of research. But whether or not she does, I feel like she knows a lot.
Yeah.
And she sounds very knowledgeable.
So we will definitely be covering this on an episode.
Yes.
Because the publishers reached out and said that they wanted to do a giveaway with us.
Yeah.
So we will have 2 advanced reader copies, or I think finished copies maybe. I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
Don't
quote us on this.
But the publishers did reach out and they said that they wanted to do a giveaway for our listeners. So keep following us to get more information on that.
Yeah. Like I said, it'll probably be not until next year.
Yes.
But look out for that episode, and then look out for maybe some special treats with it.
Yeah, special treats.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Definitely. All right. If that is all, Jenna, where can they find us?
We could just copy and paste from a previous episode. Yeah, always fully booked. Or not. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. I was thinking about last week's episode. I'm so sorry. Hey.
This is why Jenna does promotion. So, as Jenna would say, Braless Book Guild on anything like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. Don't look up BBG, but look up Braless Book Guild, and you'll find us.
Woohoo!
See, I'm her sister. I can be her.
You can do it.
Understudy. All right, we're gonna end it on a quote, which is from The Isle in the Silver Sea. When you live in a land that feeds on stories, you soon learn to sense when one is about to rear its head. Sometimes, if you're foolhardy enough, you can make sure to set yourself on its path.
Yeah.
There we go.
And change it.
And change it. Yep.
That's the whole thing. So,
all right, guys. Well, until next time, we'll see ya.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.